Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? That's right, we're doing another stream and it is live. This is our 6 month since February 1st when Nancy Guthrie was abducted. That's an alleged statement, but it's pretty strong leaning toward that in my world. Now, so what I want to do is bring you up to date on some stuff that's happened over the last 6 months at a high level, and more importantly, more recent events that have occurred. So, with that said, let's see if I can do this. Hi, and let's get going. So, just as a background overview, Nancy's an 84-year-old woman, and as you may know, she's the mother of Savannah Guthrie. Her home is located in Catalina Foothills, just in the outskirts of Tucson, Arizona. Obviously, she went missing, as I said, February 1st in the early morning hours from her home, and we have a multiple agency monitoring or looking into this case and continuing investigations with the Pima County Sheriff's Department. That's right, Sheriff Chris Nanos, and Federal Bureau of Investigations. That would be FBI. And the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Bonus, because we had some concerns about her being brought over border lines. So you can see why they would be involved. Now, it is an active and ongoing investigation, making this these 6 months to the day as of August 1st, 2026. So we're hoping that we'll get some resolution sooner than later. Let's pray. So I put this together in a phase process, a phase layout, shall we say. Blood matching Nancy's DNA was recovered near the front entrance and inside the residence, as we may know. And if you don't know, for some of the viewers that are joining me for the first time, welcome. Also, local media outlets received multiple emails. You've heard from TMZ, you've heard some news outlets. Various folks have received ransom notes. And the original one, of course, was requesting a $4 million in Bitcoin to be increased to $6 million if they didn't meet the first time frame. And then that followed on the following Monday by 5 p.m. and it would be raised to $6 million. The February 10th date is where two men were briefly detained near Rico, Arizona, following a traffic stop and property search. And don't forget, there was also a house that was due to a tip, I assume. The mother and the son, they went to that house, blocked off the roads. They brought them out for questioning, and they released them because they did not have an association to that. But also we had the two men who briefly were detained following a traffic stop and a property search, but are later released without charges. The subsequent $3.25 million wrongful arrest notice of claim in July. Hopefully, we'll see what happens with that. But of course, people have to claim because they feel wronged. The reward currently with the FBI posts a $50,000 to $100,000 reward, while the Guthrie family increases the stakes by offering a $1 million family award. They want their mom back. You can't blame them for that. And I am impressed that this is such a high profile case that people are still following it. And I'm grateful for that, because any missing person, as far as my missing spotlight series goes, everyone is important and needs to be found. Now, in the phase 2 process, we're talking about time frame and family pleas and spring investigations. Savannah did go to air a few times back in April after a 2-month leave of absence. You can understand that. The tips tips were leading searches, including a volunteer group to investigate areas near Nogales, Mexico, though the searches yield no results. And that was based on the tip that she was there and unalived, and they were searching for her. But again, at the time and to this date, I am not aware that the Mexican authorities had contacted the FBI or anyone in the United States law enforcement, including Pima Sheriff's Office. So now we know that there was a recent stream as of today from Instagram, and let me get that shared for you. as long as it opens up. Okay, going to be sharing that with you. And I'm going to do a refresh so you can catch it from the beginning. And it'll start automatically. I just hit the volume.
It has been months since our mom was taken from us. Our family is in agony. We are in a nightmare that will not end. Nothing about our situation has changed. We have done our part, and we will never stop looking for her. We will always ache for her and feel that hole in our hearts. The world can be a cruel and unforgiving place, and I know that you have tried to do things the right way. So I'm asking you, begging you to do the right thing now. Make the right choice. Help us find her. Tell us where to look for her. I truly believe it is never too late to do the right thing. Help us bring this situation to an end. For all of us, no matter where we've been and what we've done, I believe there is always a way home. Please make the right choice.
So that was off Savannah's personal Instagram account, posted earlier today. I wanted to share that with you if you hadn't seen it. It is still out there. Add this back up. So that was the latest plea, which is important to keep in the forefront of their minds. Someone should come forward. And I know that I also have the video from Sheriff Nanos describing things like someone out there knows something. So we're just asking for everybody, whoever they are, to come forward. So phase 3 in the month of the summertime, right? June through July, which has just ended, the ransom note was made public. And this is ransom note number 1. And I'm going to read that for you verbatim, and then I'll do ransom note number 2, and then I'll share the video on Sheriff Nanos. So what we have here is, hello, Savannah. We have your mother, Nancy. She is safe but scared. She will be held for ransom, and once payment is received, she will be released unharmed. We will be holding her for a maximum of 7 days. You will need to send Bitcoin in the amount of $4 million USD, United States dollars, before 5 p.m. on Thursday, the 5th. That'd be back in February. If payment is not received, the ransom will be increased to $6 million, which will need to be paid by 5 p.m. on Monday, the 9th. Once payment is received to the Bitcoin address below, she will be released within 12 hours of deposit to a safe drop off location back in Tucson. If payment is not received, misspelled word, by the last deadline on Monday the 9th at 5 p.m., she will be unalived. Your mother is aware of this, and her life is in your hands. It is in the best interest of everyone to have this completed as soon as possible. You will not be able to contact me from here on out, singular. Prior, it's been plural. There will be no negotiation. Do not play games. Law enforcement will not be able to help you. And a little description, she had a white smartwatch on the floor of the foot of her bed, and the white floodlight in the backyard was destroyed. So they tried to provide some details that only the abductors would know. And again, they reference multiple as well as singular. So leaves you kind of thinking, which way are we going here? Is it a group, multiple people? Is it one individual that we obviously saw in the retrieved video from the door cam that was broken? We shall see. So now ransom note number 2, which was again received. Guthrie family, we did not fully grasp the seriousness of her physical condition. We never intended to hurt her. That was not our intention. She perished shortly after she was taken. We believe it was heart related. She is buried in nature now. Nothing you could have done could have changed the outcome. We want your family to know this and hope you all can find peace. We are truly sorry. I did speak with a source of mine who feels that this second ransom note was more of showing kindness, and when they get located and brought to justice, they may try to say, look, we really were sorry. We didn't mean it for it to happen, along those lines, as a part of a defense. Either way, they abducted an elderly woman. Okay, now I'm going to share the video from, I believe it was today. Sorry, I want to make sure I have the right one. Close that. There. Okay. There it is. Well, that's not the one. Hey, Rob. Let's get the other one.
Six months since Nancy Guthrie was taken from her home. Sheriff, August 1st marks 6 months since Nancy Guthrie was taken from her home. Where does the investigation stand right now?
It's very active. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. We've done a lot of work, but we still have more. And there's not just in DNA, where labs across the country are working together, but in forensics analysis of thousands and thousands of videos, photos. And we also have still tens of thousands of tips that come in, and we actively work on them. So it's a very active investigation.
The department released 2 ransom notes. Why now?
Well, really 2 reasons. One, it's out there. People have been, media has covered some of this, and we just saw what was being said, and we felt like we need to put something out that's really accurate. And this was the time. We felt like investigators felt like there's a number of pieces of information in these notes that it just might jar someone to say, I've heard that, or the wording, the style of the writing is, it might jog somebody to kind of think about who would have written this? How was this done? I think anybody who reads them, my investigators, we look at it, and clearly there's things in there that are very concerning to our investigative team. So we hope that by releasing the actual note, we'll get some response from the community.
Did the Guthrie family know you'd be releasing?
Absolutely, absolutely.
6 months in, what's your relationship with the FBI?
It's a good relationship. It's always been a good relationship. We've been a member of what is known as the Southern Arizona Violent Crime Task Force, headed up by the FBI, for decades. We've always participated, and to this day we still do. It's not just a great relationship; it's one that's very valued.
What's your message to the community?
We think somebody knows something. We hope that by releasing some of this information, it will jog somebody to think about what. A lot of people have called this with information, but we also know a lot of people are hesitant to do so. And so I hope that by constantly reminding the public, we're here, we're not going anywhere. If you have information, someone knows who this person is, someone knows something, we want that person to call us. We need that phone call.
Why haven't you held a press conference about this case?
The press conferences are actually more designed for when you have a very specific piece of information that you want out in front and you need help with. We do that. In this regard, we felt like just a media release was sufficient.
What's your message to the Guthrie family?
We're still here. We are not going away. If you could just see the team working, you would see the energy, the concern. They're fired up, and we'll continue to work this case hard.
Is there anything that I forgot to ask or that you want to add?
You know, there is a number of issues have been brought up about people being cleared of this investigation. You know, we served a few search warrants. We talked to individuals, and we move on because if the evidence is there, we continue that path. But that doesn't mean those individuals are cleared. It just means that we met with them because we felt like there was a need. There was probable cause established through evidence, tips, whatever, and presented to a court, and we went on. Does that mean those individuals are cleared? Not necessarily. It just means that we took a look at something that was concerning to us, and now the evidence takes us elsewhere. But more to that point, I can't be more clear. I said this earlier on, and I say it again. The Guthrie family is not and have not been suspects in this investigation. We have talked with them, worked with them. They are not suspects. They are victims of a very horrific crime.
If someone does have information that may help investigators, where should they call?
Either tip line, 1-800-CALL-FBI, or 520-351-4900 is the Sheriff's Department tip line. You can even call 911. We just need you to call.
As usual, quite interesting. He didn't prepare a statement. He was talking off the cuff, which is okay. But in my world, you would want to be on top of things and be able to answer questions and have available information as best you can. Sorry, I had to stage. So it is concerning because I know with my missing spotlight, I constantly list the FBI phone number, the law enforcement for Pima Sheriff's Department. He provided the number, but it was so fast, I didn't even catch to write it down. But it's easy to look up on the internet, as well as the FBI.tips.gov website. You can anonymously provide tips. Anything and everything is not too big or not too small. It's worth submitting. Now, with all the tips he talked about, 10,000 plus, that's a lot to go through. So there's got to be a lot of staff working on this. And if there isn't, there should be. As well as he mentioned 1,000s or plus videos. Well, that'll be interesting if that's ring videos, street videos, traffic videos, all along those lines, which in 6 months, there's quite a bit to still go through, I would assume. But like the reporter asked, why haven't you done a press conference? Well, that would be helpful if you did it monthly, because once again, you raise Nancy Guthrie's attention to her situation and the abduction, and you keep it in the forefront. Hence why I'm doing these streams when I do, as well as others that are doing streams on Nancy Guthrie, right? That abduction, because she's a known person now after 6 months, it doesn't take away from anyone else that's been kidnapped, abducted, missing, anything. Everyone has a life that we should find. Right? So let's spend the time wisely and keep your eyes and ears open. Now, continuing with phase 3B over the summer, we had the extortion arrest of Derek Kalila. He's a 42-year-old from Hawthorne, California. He was tracked down and arrested for sending opportunistic fake ransom text messages over voice over IP, that's VoIP, calls to the Guthrie family. He pleads guilty in July to telecommunications harassment and faces sentencing on September 10th, 2026. Now, if that's in California, I'm going to have to reach out to another source to see if they can attend the hearing or the trial, because I think that'll be well worth it, or sentencing, I should say. So we'll see if I can get somebody over there and get an update at that point. But the cruelty of some people, right? The cruelty of it all. Why would you do that to anybody? Right? It doesn't even have to be this case, but any other case. it's just something is definitely wrong with some of our fellow human beings. And we know a lot of them, we watch a lot of it. So it's really offensive to me when I hear things like this. And I'm glad they were able to locate him and that he's going to be sentenced. And I hope it's a harsh sentence, in my opinion, well deserved, whatever extent they can do. Now, phase 3C, recent summer developments includes lawsuits and scrutiny. The Pima County Sheriff's Office faces public scrutiny. Well, we've heard that over the summer and since February, right? There's been concerns about the Pima Sheriff's Department, their interaction with the FBI agents, how much effort they are really putting into this. There's always questions from the public because they're not getting answers. Hence why I suggested a monthly or sooner, more often, press conference just to bring everybody up to speed. I don't think it's asking too much, but that's my opinion again. I know if my mom were missing, I would want every commercial, every advertisement to be focused on that. Probably won't happen, but that's how I would feel about someone I love so dearly. Early digital evidence handling, such as a doorbell camera subscription limitations, public friction with federal officials, alongside incoming multi-million-dollar wrongful arrest claims. Yes, they, of course, have to sue. Now, this is focused on an active investigation. They do have to follow the evidence to wherever it takes. And as he was saying, people have been cleared, but that doesn't mean they can't be revisited. We've seen that also, right? As of right now, the evidence we're working on, it clears you. You're cleared from this. But if something else comes to light, we may have to revisit you and see about that, right? So now you got people tracking people to make sure no one's skipping the country or hitting the border or whatever, right? There's a lot involved with this investigation, as well as any missing persons investigation. I would expect the same top-notch service from all the law enforcement agencies to find these people. And one way or another, resolution for the family and friends. Let's see. Got some really good comments from folks in the comment section. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't give out my sources, just so you know. They're my source, and I would never share that information out, so don't even ask. Now, recent updates to the DNA forensic developments. You've heard about that recently, and if you haven't, here it is. Inconclusive hair sample. The sheriff, Chris Nanos, confirmed that the testing on the hair sample recovered from Nancy Guthrie's Tucson home yielded no results and did not point to a suspect. Investigators noted that obtaining usable DNA profiles from hair is extremely rare compared to touch, DNA, or bodily fluids. It's still a source from DNA. We need to improve our scientific technology then to use any possible source of DNA to find out as much as we can. So it's interesting to me to find out, since they had a hair, would they have said something different if it was a bodily fluid, per se? Complex mixed DNA sample. So when they did test, they were able to determine that there were multiple, recovering from the home contains genetic material from as many as 4 different individuals. Okay, but did you name them? Is it 4 family members? Was there somebody else that was there that is not a family member or friend? Right? And there's probably more than 4 people that entered that home as her friends from church or her family, that kind of thing. So just to leave it blanketed, I'm sure that's part of the investigation. They can't show all their cards, so to speak, right? So I have to give them credit that they're holding things close to the vest that they can research and follow through with. The national lab angle, right? The national labs included Guantanamo, Virginia, and multiple others, such as the private Florida lab and the other labs they've been testing, and 5 or 6 labs across the country are actively working to separate and isolate the genetic profiles, though it remains uncertain if a definitive match will be found. So it's taking a while, which I'm not a DNA expert and I don't split hairs, so I don't know. But it would be interesting. Then that should be a press conference when it's determined. You don't have to say any more than just that we were able to genetically identify somebody. There, puts a little pressure on somebody. You may see some activity, whether it be a single person or multiple, right? Because we don't know, based on those ransom notes, It referred to plural and singular to themselves. So, discredited evidence. Early in the investigation, investigators analyzed DNA from a glove found roughly 2 miles from the home. Remember, that was a big to-do. Everybody discussed that because they didn't have anything else to discuss, with hopes that the Pima Sheriff's Department would be providing more often updates. They resembled one seen in the suspect's surveillance footage. The DNA profile was ultimately ruled out after the glove was traced to a local restaurant worker rather than the abductor. Okay, so now you have another individual that's on the board that they may have to revisit, but they cleared him at that time. So I just shared with you the post earlier, I should say. I shared with you the Savannah Guthrie Instagram post, which was posted today. Also, this is the link for the Sheriff Nanos on x.com. Misspelled the word com, sorry. It happens, you know. So I shared both of those with you so you have some information. Let's see. So here's the forensic and physical evidence tracking. I did a little table for you. Masked suspect footage. And that's a security still video released by the FBI, PCSD, Pima County Sheriff's Department. It depicts an average build male, approximately 5'9" to 5'10", wearing gloves, a mask, and an Ozark Trail hiker backpack, which I believe JLR identified that as you can only order it online, if I remember, from months ago. So that should also help point them to definitively get a list of people who have ordered the pack, even in the past 2 years, let's say, right? You have to go back as far as you can, or it was recent. But that's definitely a lead that should be followed up on if it hasn't already, right? Hair sample recovered from inside the residence. Yes, she lived there. Inconclusive. Sheriff Nanos confirmed that just in the video we just saw, once again, in my notes that I researched. So we have that. Nice. Nice comments. Keep them coming. Mixed DNA profile. Genetic material recovered from the home. Yes, contains contributions from up to 4 individuals sent to top-tier labs nationwide, including the FBI Quantico lab and a private Florida facility to isolate profiles. I didn't research and ask anybody or look into how long it would take, but obviously it takes longer than I would expect because by 6 months, I'd like to have much more detail personally. Again, if it was a family member of my own. Discarded glove, we discussed that. It was discredited, but once again, you never know. Gloves come in handy sooner or later. Now, here is something I use with my on my streams for the Missing Spotlight series. These are sources that you can contact or look up on the internet that relate to official missing persons, national and international, as well as emergency and reporting contacts, which obviously 911 in the United States is quick and easy to dial or press buttons for, and federal U.S. cases, missing children, U.S. citizens abroad. So again, it's not just Nancy Guthrie's abduction. This opens a can of worms for all of the missing people. That's why I'm doing my series. We want to bring light to all missing persons because anybody might be into somebody and talk to somebody. You never know. So please reach out, share your information that you may have. Let's increase that tip line information to the law enforcement. Let's give them more to work with because we need to have resolution one way or another. And again, not just for Nancy Guthrie, but the other missing persons also. Now, I pray every one of them will be found. I pray Nancy Guthrie's returned home safely. Again, I can have hope, just like her family probably has. So I'm keeping that candle in the window lit every night. And as always, good point on that one. Yeah, here's a comment I'll share from a lady named Teresa S. Removing parking for journalists, arresting them, and messing up the crime scene. Well, there was a lot of that activity early on. Again, JLR was there by himself, streaming 12-hour days, and then more and more news reporters, their vans, their tents, leaving garbage on the ground, things like that, really filled up the road, which just wasn't appropriate. And now, do you really hear anything or see anything at the site, at her home? That's the thing. You know, it's not a story that goes away. It's a story that should be in the forefront on every news report, every channel, that kind of thing. So all I can do is my channel. And that's why I'm bringing this up. And I'm hoping and praying that people are going to watch the replay as well as the people here live, that they can contact the phone numbers I provided. Join the replay crew. You can also look at the phone numbers that way and print screen them if you much. But my motto is the one share could bring someone home. If you speak up, if you reach out, if you use the internet, if you use a phone, let somebody know. Call law enforcement, local or otherwise. Let them know what you may know or what you may have heard or you assume. It's worth them having that extra information because somewhere, somehow, some way, not whether it be big or small, might make a big difference. So, and one share could bring someone home. Please remember that. Yes, don't punish the few from the many. I hear you. Thank you for that, Teresa. So, want to thank you again for joining me. Any other questions, comments, I look forward to them. Please post comments on my channel for this stream and others. I would appreciate it. I've done previous streams on Nancy Guthrie's disappearance since February, so you can go back and check those in the Real Case Files playlist. And with that said, I thank you all very much for attending. I appreciate it. And I will see you again soon as I am continuing my streams and providing information to the public. Thank you all. Have a wonderful night. Stay safe.